is a recording of the Friday kickoff Red Ball meeting with the speaker Steve J. of Modesto, recorded at the CMSRCNA2 in Modesto, California, on Friday, June 26, 1992. In observance with the 11th tradition stating anonymity at the public level, please keep this tape within the fellowship and observe the anonymity of all NA speakers.
Produce Steve J. from Modesto.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve, and I am a grateful member of Narcotics Anonymous. I got this big ball to hit that guy up there, and he draws something else on me. That's why I told somebody in the back, man, find me the ball, man. I almost didn't get a chance to speak because I think they tried to drop a flag or something on me. I don't know what that was about, but it sounds spiritual to me. I'd like to thank the committee for picking me and letting me do this. I think there was only one member of the COP that he's voted me down, so I'll deal with him later. At this time, is there anybody here that's new or in their first convention that's never been to a convention before? Would you please stand? Not to embarrass you, just so we can kick you into recovery here. Somebody give these people a hug. Give these people a hug. All right. Welcome to Narcotics Anonymous Mid-State Convention number 2 in Modesto, California. Man, whew, we've come a long ways. I want to talk a little bit about the history and a little bit about the way I've seen things and being an addict. You know, things might relate a little bit to the way you used to see. I've been around a few days. You know, I've learned a few things here. I call this a school of life. I also know in our book at one point it says that recovery is free for us because we paid the dues on the street in order to come in here and have fun in recovery and grow. You know, I don't think I'll push anybody's button. Everything I say won't be actually right, but it'll be my way. I want to tell you a little bit about the way I've studied history. I used to be a compulsive addict, and if somebody knew something that I didn't know, I would study it. I was like the Rain Man, only, you know, I was a little bit more functioning, you know, and I didn't stop in crosswalks, you know, because I knew I'd get run over. But basically, a lot of our history relates back to addiction in life of our ancestors, and I think actually what happened in this country was they exiled all the people out of the prisons and dumped them over here, you know, and that's why when the soldiers started watching all pretty, you know, oh, boo, 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 you know, walking down the roads and stuff, the people hid behind the trees. Now, if I was a dope fiend, I had a gun, and, you know, they were after me, I'd do the same thing, probably, you know. One of the things I want to share is a little bit about Modesto, because this is like a melting pot. You know, we got people here from all over, and they all got amazing stories how they get there. There's very few people that are really like, been born in the area. They all came from this state or that state, or came from L.A., came from the Bay Area, or came from somewhere, you know. And it's really neat. I even came from Butte, Montana. You know, that's where Evel Knievel was, and he was too weird for me, so I had to move down here when I was 6. But Modesto, what happened, and this is a little bit about California history, is when Santa Anna conquered California, he took and he divided the state up into his generals. And that's how you got San Francisco, Santa Cruz, Santa Ana, all this stuff. But the guy that got Modesto was probably a dope fiend, you know. And what happened with that was, instead of, you know, calling it Sir Dope Fiend or Santa Dope Fiend or whatever, he wouldn't let it be named after him. So they called it Modesto, which in Spanish means modest. And so that's how, you know, I think this is a real good area to recover. You know, I've been around this area for a long time, and, you know, I go back in my life, and I remember when I first started, there wasn't any NA. You know, I was a teenager, and I was sent to the other program with a court card, and I never could fit in, because everybody was always older than me, or I didn't understand what they were talking about, you know. I was seeing a counselor, and this counselor told me, well, if you go back and you listen and you go to a couple other meetings, do they have women there? And they have donuts. I said, well, I like to eat donuts, and I like to scam women because, you know, I was a cute little fat kid, you know. Little cute one had dimples and stuff, a little birthmark right here. You know, perfect little fat kid, you know, when I grew up. And so I said, okay, so I went back, and I looked around, and there wasn't any donuts. First thing I was looking for. The second thing I looked around is the women were 90 years old, man, to me. They looked like they were 90 years old. There were no young people in that place at all. And so what I did is I went out there and I, you know, invested my time in getting in trouble some more and some more and some more. And I went through a lot of different programs brought by the court. I always had this court card. And one day I finally ran into a place that I could go where I guess all the dope fiends had decided they gathered there. And this was a real old, you know, fellowship for the other place. You know, one of the earlier ones in California. And all there was winos there, man, and dope fiends, and we're all dirty and stuff. And they had all these beat up old couches in the back and stuff, man, and chairs and stuff. It was real neat, man. It was real neat because we could go kick back in the back. The only thing that was about that they never done, they never run the 7 tradition by us because they knew what had happened, you know. And we'd be sitting back there, and the thing is that fellowship differed a little from what I needed because all you had to do is say you didn't drink and you were okay, you know. And we'd sit back there, we got to be known as the Here Man group, you know. And I don't know why we're always sitting back there and we're always sitting real close and real concentrated. We're in the back going, sure, man, you know. And that's what we were doing in the back. Sure, man, you know, this kind of thing. And we hung out there for a while. And then NA started, and one of the earlier NAs was started like across the street in the basement of a church, you know, and I think they probably locked us in, I don't know. But it changed, but to come to where Narcotics Anonymous is today is just totally beautiful. You know, when I first got involved with NA, we're only like in a couple countries, you know, we had the rebel movement going on and, you know, this and that, and I thought the only place NA was in California, you know, and there's only a few meetings. But we tend to grow and get bigger and bigger. And look where we're at now, man. Wow. Look where we're at now. A lot of the good things have happened in my life. For 5 years I've been raising my daughter. And the funny thing about it, this is the first meeting that I haven't tried to keep her totally out of. And so I can cap on her now, you know, because she's here. And she was all upset today, and she come home and she said, Daddy, they wrote my book, my teachers did. And, you know, she graduated from 8th grade. She's going to be in high school next year. She's the one that ran out of the room, too. And they wrote in there that she should grow up and be a drug counselor. You know, they're right on, man. If they would just tell me when I was in 8th grade that I needed drug counseling, I might have been all right, you know. But she plans to grow up and be an attorney. I could have used one of those way back when, too. But she plans on growing up and being an attorney, and she's a productive child. But I think what this program has given me is it's rubbed off on her, because she's always helping her friends. You know, she's clean, you know, and she just concerns herself with other people, you know. And that's how I grew up in this program. I got in service, I got involved, I listened, and I was educated. The thing today, I'm very grateful for this program. I walked through a lot of things in my life. You know, everything you can think of, I've walked through in this program. And I've lived. It's kept me here. And, you know, I threatened a few times I was going to leave, and I've never been able to. It's like my whole life is surrounded around this. And the basic thing that I know about NA, these conventions, and everything in NA is supposed to be spiritual. Everything here is supposed to be spiritual. And me, my feeling of spirituality is a zest for life. You want to live. You want to experience. I mean, you got away from, you know, the hold that drugs had on you, and now you can come out and have fun, man. You know, I refuse to grow up. I'm going to have my childhood now, you know, because I never had one before. You know, I was always too messed up. I never knew right from wrong. I always tried to scare everybody out of my life. I used to always isolate. And for me to be able to, you know, stand up and say, yeah, you know, this is beautiful, man, to be in a convention, any convention. I've been in several. I went to almost all the Northern California conventions. I went to some Southern California. I went to a couple world conventions. And like the last world convention I went to, I like to give my card out, my phone number, take a card, call me up, I make you happy, that kind of thing. And I got 5 letters a couple years ago from 5 foreign countries, and I couldn't even read them. I didn't know what language they were, I couldn't decipher it, man, but it was just the thought, man, it was beautiful. I've been in service, and, for a long time. Now what I do is H&I because I want to carry the message, because the promise in this program is that we carry the message, that we get to stay, In the 12 steps, we have a spiritual awakening through the results of the steps, and we learn to work them in all of our daily affairs. And that's what's neat. This program is really neat. And I can't say that much more about it, but we're all here to have fun. Get spiritual. If you're from a different area and you got something bothering you, share it with somebody you don't know, man. That's what meetings are about. You come into a meeting, you share something bothering you, and pretty soon it's lifted. But, enjoy this convention, man. It's your convention. And no matter what you think, in my heart, I love each and every one of you. There ain't much you can do about it. And this is also a red ball meeting, and I get to throw the ball now. Thank you.
Terry, God, I don't know why he didn't jump. My name's Linda, and I'm an alcoholic drug addict. Drug of choice was heroin. I've been off heroin for almost 14 months, and alcohol, and relapsed on pot 6 months, 23 days today. And if I hadn't been through this program, I wouldn't have made it. I went through a dry, drunk alcohol stage for 6 months, and that's why I relapsed, because I was staying home. So as long as I stayed away from everybody I knew, I wouldn't go to the grocery store, unless I was with my mother. And she'd take care of all my bills. I couldn't do anything because I was scared to death to get money in my hands. And then my old man was someone he was using, and I was so scared I was going to use it, I checked into reality. And reality introduced me to this program of NA and AA. And I thank God for it, and that's all I got to say, guys. I wasn't prepared for this. Do I throw this? Catch that, Diane.
My name's Diane. I'm a heroin addict, alcoholic. I've got about 56 days clean. I just got out of reality. So I'm just mainly going to listen to everybody because I really do need to. Thank you, though.
Bear with me, I'm short. Hi, my name is Feather, and I'm from Livermore. I have 2 years today. I got here under unfavorable circumstances, and that's turned around, and I want to thank you people for making me feel at home and making me feel welcome. It means a lot to me because I didn't know too many people when I got here, and now I feel like I'm with the family. So it works if you work it. I've never been up on stage before, and I'm nervous, and my knees are like knocking together and stuff. The steps work, and I'm grateful that we got them. I was very depressed, and I was hurt. And I have to honestly tell you, I did not think about using. I thought about what step to apply, and those who knew me back when know that that is a big change for me. It's neat to be at a different convention. It's like, wow, a convention. I got $1 in my pocket, and I'm here, and I'm having a good time. So, keep coming back if you're new. It will work. If it works for me, it'll work for you.
I'm Tim, and I am an addict. I don't have a whole lot to say. I'm hoping there's not many more people than this at the next meeting because I got a secretariat, and I get real nervous in front of crowds. So things are going good for me today, one day at a time, to help my higher power who I call God. I'm here to enjoy the convention. It's my 3rd one. Welcome the newcomer. Keep coming back. I need you in my life. Somebody got to be back there.
My name's George. I'm an addict. Just got into town from Bakersfield. Is this thing working? Hello, hello? Okay. I just got into town from Bakersfield, kind of passing through. I'm going to be able to go to a high school reunion in Oakland, tomorrow, and this comes 2 weeks after I got my bachelor's degree out of Cal State Bakersfield. Miracles do happen around here. It is kind of scary up here, isn't it, Heather? I don't know, it's really good to be at a convention. It's been a couple of years since I've been able to make it to one. My choices in life kind of got me away from the fellowship over this last year, which is really strange for a service junkie to be kind of away from the fellowship. But, the phone still works, and the book still works, and the steps still work. And if I can keep doing what I've been doing for a couple more weeks, I'll get to celebrate 6 years clean when I get back to Bakersfield, too. And whenever I think about time, it takes me back to thinking that, I didn't think it was possible for me to get like 30 days clean. I was going to give it a test drive, for 30 days and see what happens. And I don't remember too much of those 30 days, but I must have heard something that stuck, because I've decided to stick around, and look forward to meeting a lot of you, and it's going to be a lot easier to say hi once I get down off of here. So we'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Rebecca, and I'm an alcoholic. And I've got 9 months sobriety, but there's one thing I do want to share. You said it's a real spiritual program, and 9 months ago I know it was my higher power that opened my eyes to the 12 steps in a lot of ways, because the 12 steps to me is like a love letter from my higher power, showing me that I can do spiritual progress and not perfection, and that accepts me and all of my defects, and I have lots of choices and lots of decisions to make, and I don't have to get drunk over them. And I'm just really grateful to be here. Thank you.
My name's Terry, and I'm an addict. And I wanted to get up here and share because I had something wonderful happen today. I went to court to get final testing on my daughter today. That's why I spent this morning. A year and a half ago, that wouldn't have been possible. I was too wrapped up in drugs and chasing my own lifestyle. And it was a lifestyle that was taking me into destruction. Today, things like that all over happen in my life. Not just that, I have other miracles. Last night, though, I had something just kind of bad happen. I was working at my mom's 7-Eleven, and the cops come in while they're seeing operations, and I sold to a minor. After I double-checked his ID, I still miscalculated. It really pissed me off and drove at myself. And for a minute or so, I felt like just going back to Cobox, grabbing a beer and say, fuck it. But it's like, I sat down and said the serenity prayer, and within 30 minutes, 2 of my friends showed up at the store to sit and visit with me. This program does work if you just let it. It's made all kinds of changes in my life. I've been in prison 2 or 3 times, and it's like I don't have to worry about those kind of things no more. Today when I was in court, the court said they wanted me to go back, to do drug testing so I could turn it into court records. And I told them I'd have to ask my parole officer to test me again because he hasn't been testing me in 3 months. I have to go back and ask him, will you start testing me again twice every 2 weeks? That's a big miracle for me because before it was like I was testing twice a week and trying to play games to beat those tests. Today I don't have to worry about that with my parole officer, but I'll go back and ask him because I need it for court records for the next 6 months so I can go back for a review. But it's like it's nowhere. I walk in there and laugh at him. The first time he didn't test me, I told him, wait a second, I came down here prepared. Open your door. I don't even use your room whether you want to test it or not. It was like, get your damn door open. And he looked at me and says, okay, go ahead, but he didn't bother testing me. And I spent almost 7 years now, either on probation or parole. I'm one of those people that kept going back and just couldn't seem to get enough of it. I like that supervision, I guess. And today I walk in with a smile on my face. My parole officer, he works with me on things instead of against me. He's not there trying to send me back. He's there trying to help me today. And before, on parole, it was like I hated my parole officer. She hated me. It's like we were just looking for an excuse to go at each other. And today I got a good parole officer. It's like he was going to write me a letter of recommendation to court. I didn't bother picking it up, and I didn't need it. That wasn't the way things worked out. It's like after the psychiatric evaluation, the lady that wrote the report for the court, it's like my ex-wife, her lawyer even just come up to me this morning before we went to court and says, would you agree to these terms? You know, it's like they weren't even going to fight it. They were just surrendering that I had won without actually any kind of fight. We went in court and the judge says, well, if you guys all agree, that's what I was going to do. You know, so thank God for that, and thank this program for giving me a chance to clean my life up and to bring my higher power, which I call God, back into my life. You know, I used to live that lifestyle, and I'd walked away from it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bill, and I'm an addict. Is there a topic? Kickoff. I'm just really glad to be here today, and you know, it's really good to see people here, and I'm just really looking forward to the weekend. It's been, excuse me. No, I'm not nervous. I might know where I'm at today, Modesto, right? It's just really good to see everybody here, and you know, I hope it's a great weekend. Let's see, let's throw it way back.
Attaboy, Bill.
My name's Roy, I'm an addict, and I left my house at 1:30 in the morning to come here. Let's see, we slept in Sacramento like, you know, at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, I'm from Reno, Nevada, and I'm glad to be here too. I decided to come like 10 days ago, and I'm not nervous like Bill was. My toes are shaking, my knees are knocking, and it's amazing how things look different from up here. It's about the same height as the bar, though. You know, I'm really glad to be here, and I don't know. Yeah. I think I've met you in Reno, I'm pretty sure. I'm doing that little bit of service work myself. And I hate, yeah, I'm real nervous. I don't know. What am I supposed to be talking about? I'm going gold dredge. So let's throw this now and get out of here.
I'm Kurt, and I'm an addict. God, it's great to be here. You know, a couple of months ago I found out that the company I work for was going to have inventory today, and I don't like inventory, you know, in recovery or at work, but I decided to take a day of vacation, and, you know, my girlfriend said, well, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. I'm just not going to be there. And I found out this was happening, and, you know, I've been, praying for another one of these to happen. I got to go to the one in Fresno a couple years ago, 3 months clean, and it was the most awesome thing that ever happened in my life. You know, I got goosebumps just walking in here a while ago. You know, to think that this many addicts can get together and have a good time and not use drugs is amazing. You know, and today, you know, it's because of my higher power and the program of Narcotics Anonymous and people that stood by me and held my hand, you know, that I got to be here. You know, I like stand up here and say, you know, I got 2 years clean, but I don't, you know, doo-doo happens. But I'm here, and I got 4 months, and and it's I come up here by myself, but that was an awesome feeling. And my radio don't work in the car, so my sponsor told me I don't like spending time with myself, and I need to do that. And so I did, and I did a lot of talking to my higher power on the way up here. And an old raggedy old car, you know, I had to pull over and take a couple of breaks and let it cool off, but I'm here, and I love it. And thanks for letting me share.
My name is Cindy. I'm an addict. I'm real grateful to be here at this convention. Something that I found in Narcotics Anonymous was this program set my soul free. I came to Narcotics Anonymous when I was 9 years sober and clean, and I have had more freedom in the last 2 years than I've had in all of my recovery. Because Narcotics Anonymous taught me how to deal with my feelings rather than just the way I think and the way I drink and the way I use. I'm real grateful to be here. I'm with one of my best friends. We do all of our conventions together, repetitiously. I sponsor her. I'm also getting to share my room with the first person I ever sponsored in any type of 12-step program. That was 11 year ago friend. And I get to be with a person that's new in the program. And I find today that God works in my life in spite of me. Sometimes, and when I'm honest, open-minded, and willing, I find that I have a chance. And I one more time become that much more free. And I become giving. And I can receive back. And I'm real grateful to be here. And I can't throw this ball, so will you throw it?
Look, Boss, 3 red balls. I got it. I'm Glenn, I'm an addict, and I like what this lady had to say about the 12 steps in relationship with the higher power. I truly believe that Narcotics Anonymous is a solution. You know, I'm a ghetto doper. You know, there's nothing glamorous or pretty about me when I'm high or drunk or under the influence. You know, and I'm a miserable type person, and I try to make everybody around me miserable, and I was real successful at that for a long time, you know, and today, you know, I don't choose to be miserable, and I don't choose to make people around me miserable, and I owe it to the program of Narcotics Anonymous and my higher power, who is Jesus Christ, you know, and it took, you know, there was a lot of, I was ashamed to say that, you know, for a long time, you know, that I even needed a God or that there was a God, much less a Jesus in my life, you know, and today it's not like that, you know, and I'm real happy to carry that message, you know, for what it's worth, you know. If you want to stop feeling the pain, if you want to stop using drugs, drinking alcohol, and you just can't seem to find a way, you know, I've feel there's a lot of new people here, you know, this is the way to do it, you know. What you can't do by yourself, we can help. We can do amongst ourselves, you know. So thank you.
My name's Mary, and I'm an addict. I didn't realize what he was doing until I was already reaching for the ball. You know, I love conventions. This is, I guess, my 5th convention that I've gone to, and it's nice because it's only like half an hour away from home. And Fresno's my hometown where I was doing my stuff when I got started. And I got to go to that convention, which was our first regional convention, and it was great. The part that I didn't like was the emotions, you know, and those old feelings coming up that I always ran from. Because when I walked into Narcotics Anonymous, I learned about the feelings that I like to run away from and pretend like they didn't exist. And I still do that sometimes, even in recovery.
I like watching everybody walk up here nervous, and they'd start stuttering and stumbling over the words so I didn't feel so alone. And I realized that was the whole thing that I got out of this program, was that I don't feel alone. I think crazy, I act crazy. Getting ready to come to the convention, you know, I'm getting real irritable, and it's like nothing's going to be the way I want it to be, and I forget about the acceptance that I'm trying to learn and practice for my own self. And I forget about taking away those expectancies of other people, other things, and of my own self. And I go crazy. You know, and then I get here and it gets started, and I look at the people, and I remember all the good times that I keep having every time I come back to a convention. It was nice when they called me up and asked me if I was secretary of the kickoff meeting, because I was like, who, me? How'd you get my name? My first thought was, you're crazy. I ain't going to stand in front of no people, and I ain't going to start nothing. I would just be part of the audience. And like everybody else, I would duck and miss the ball, and I wouldn't, but I like watching the people who say, all right, I'll get up and get the ball, because I would have sat there and said, I'm not moving, I'm not going up in front of anybody. I don't want to be noticed. But recovery has taught me that my old thinking was if I wasn't noticed, I wouldn't get hurt so much, and that those were things that I just learned, and I conditioned my mind. And today I tried to change that old tape and tell it, I'm not going to be hurt because I'm noticed anymore. I'm an adult, and I do have choices, like the one that he was saying, and I'm real glad that they shared that in the meetings, because I didn't know I had a choice. I thought everything that I did was the way life was, and I just better do it. And that's all there is, and I better not complain about it either. In recovery, I've learned it's okay for me to complain. And if I choose to do something about it and make changes, that's okay too, but that's up to me. I don't have to change. I could just keep on complaining. And recovery's been good, because it taught me the simple things that I didn't know how to accept in life. That all I knew how to do was complicate them and blow them up into something that, was really not real. I still do that in recovery. But now I pick up the telephone, or I, grab somebody and I share it with them. And I listen to them say the same thing, and I think, it's just our humanism showing. And that's what I call it now, is my humanism. I'm just a regular old human being, and I'm not perfect, and I never will be. And some days I have the progress, and it shows, and some days I regress, and that shows, and that's okay. And everything that I do is my decision on a daily basis, and all I got to do is worry about this 24 hours that I got right now and nothing else. I'm glad we have new people here. I hope you have as much fun as I did at my first convention. And it doesn't stop for me. It keeps getting better and better, and this year I'm involved a little bit in it, at least starting it off. And that feels good. And it really feels good. And I'm not as nervous as I thought I was going to be up here, even though I'm probably talking about 150 miles per minute. But it's great, and I'm glad to see you all here. And I hope I see you at the next one. I wish I would have gone up to Reno. I know there's somebody who said something about coming from Reno. And I wanted to go to the convention, but now that I'm an active, productive member of society, I've got a job, so I stick around and go to work 5 days a week. And I've got a pretty good job as far as I'm concerned, because I get paid for holidays, I get paid for vacation time. In my first year, I got 12 days off with pay. And I like the people that I work with, and I don't look at them as being inferior to me anymore. They're just other human beings, and their humanism shows, and we joke, and we put each other down, and I got a new boss, and I listen to him, and I know that when I make mistakes, it's okay today, that I don't have to quit or not show up to work because I'm not doing as good a job as I think that they want. And I found out that when I condemn and judge in my head what I'm doing, that it's just me who's doing that and not anybody outside of me. And for me, all those things were profound, as simple as they may sound to everybody else. But it feels good. I go to work because I want to be there. I enjoy being around the other people. We talk. We share our work. We share our family lives. We share our troubles and our complaints. And then we leave after 8 hours and we go home to our family for the remaining 4 to 5 hours that we're going to be awake. And it's great. Life is getting better for me, and today I enjoy living. And that's something that I didn't think I could ever do before.
Dodger. My name's Jerry. I'm a Dodger. No, I'm an addict. I was trying to dodge it. I lived here in Modesto for about 10 years, and in my addiction, I drank and used a lot here in Modesto, but I lived here. I worked at Sharp Army Depot in Stockton. I moved away from Stockton to get away from alcohol and drugs, and I moved here to Modesto. I moved back to Stockton after 10 years to get away from alcohol and drugs. And I found out that I was like a big magnet. I was attracting negative things in my life. And I believe this is my first NA meeting here in Modesto in about 4 years of recovery. And as that one guy was talking about courts, that this is where I got my divorce. My children, we were separated from my 4 children, right here in Modesto. But a lot of good things happen is that, every time when I see them, that I have quality time with my children. I bought a house in Modesto, and a lot of those things that I had, that's just a learning experience. My liabilities is my greatest assets today. Not to say freedom from bondage, and recovery is a slow process for me. And that one guy said that he had 4 months of recovery, and I was thinking, how many people in this world wish that they had 4 months of recovery? Even if you got 30 days, even 2 weeks. How many people wish that they could only get a day of recovery? It's the hardest, best thing that I've ever done in my life. It's worth it. It gave me back my self-esteem and gave me back a life that I never had. By taking inventory, like that one guy was saying that he didn't like to take inventories, but I welcome taking my inventory today because it makes me a better person when I come through it. And this is a simple program, and the unity and just the warmth, what I feel here is great. And that one girl, I too enjoyed what she said about God opening, showed her the 12 steps. That it was able to show her love. Because when I got around here, I wasn't too kind, caring, and loving. But today I have more kindness, caring, and loving inside of me. And I don't have to stand alone anymore. For years and years I thought that I was the only one that felt like the way I did. And I was in so much of denial that I went to college and I took up, my major was law. My minor was psychology, and I took psychology so I could understand why you people didn't understand me, and that's denial. This is a vicious disease. It's the only disease that I know that when a person has it, they will tell you don't have it, and you die. I've seen a lot of people die just recently, and for the 4 years that I've been around, it's a vicious disease. The bottom line, is that I need you in my life. Thank you.
Sister, I'm an addict. God, it seemed like it took forever to get here from the Bay Area, but we finally got here, and I'm just really grateful to be here. This is my second convention, and I know I'm going to learn a lot because I learned a lot from the last one. I met a lot of people there, a lot of good people, and and I came basically for the unity that these conventions bring, because it brings addicts from all over together, and we all have that same thing in common, our addictions, and today I work the steps, they saved my ass. Sometimes I don't work a real honest program, but that happens too. But I learn, and at least today I can say I'm clean and sober. Thank you.
My name is John, and I'm a dope-eating alcoholic. This is about my 4th convention that I went to, and I missed the last convention I wanted to go to. These conventions for me, they keep me coming. They keep me coming back to all the meetings, and just it shows how much love and concern, unconditional love, is in these rooms from all over. You know, and it's not a matter of where you came from or who you are, and we're all the same. You know, we all face the same type of fears. We all face, you know, a lot of different problems, and I got a little bit of time. I got a little over 2 years, and I'm still learning. And like the lady said a little while ago, I needed to come here for the simple fact that my job was real stressful, and they gave me the day off, you know, with pay to come here for the weekend, which was real nice of them. And I've been fortunate enough in my job to have a supervisor that is in recovery, so he understands. And I'm just real grateful I've been able to make it here. And thanks everybody for being here.
My name's Mary and I'm an addict. This must be harder to throw than it looks like, because nobody seems to be getting it where they're trying to get it. But I'm real excited. I had intended on leaving my house at 10 o'clock, and I arrived at my sponsor's house at 11:30, so that's about as par for my course. And I was sitting trying to count on my fingers. This, I guess, is about my 9th convention. I think I should go home and count all my T-shirts, because I get real obsessed. You know, and I said I'm going to go in that room and I'm going to buy one color, and I did do that the first round. You know, and how many colors? I have 2, and I'm going to try to quit. But, you know, I love NA paraphernalia, and thank God that's the only kind of paraphernalia I'm interested in today, you know. I love being clean. It's like, I don't know, the guy that was talking about being a service junkie and going to school, and I really related to that. At 7 years clean, it was the first time in my recovery that I didn't hold a service position, or maybe 2 or 3, and I started graduate school, and it was like I had to let something go, and I let my H&I stuff go, and I let my area stuff go, and you know, I'm still clean today, and it's like it feels real good to have a break from having to study and having to be a single mom and having to go to work and, you know, having. But you know what? Those are part of the gifts of the program. That when I got here, I didn't have shit, and especially nothing inside of me. And this program gave me my life back. And I'm really jazzed to be here. I'm eternally grateful to Narcotics Anonymous for being clean, and I'm eternally grateful for the God I found. And I am ready to have a real good time. Keep coming back. It works.
My name's Barbara, and I'm an addict. First thing my sponsor taught me about coming to conventions was to go and share at a meeting as fast as you can to make it as real as you can. And I'm real pissed off right now. And I wasn't just a few minutes ago. I'm supposed to be chairing a marathon meeting with my boyfriend tonight, and they told me it was Saturday night, and it's written down Friday night on the schedule. So it's like, he's not here. He's coming up tomorrow night, right? So I guess I get to call Madeira and ask him to come on up. But, you know, the experience of coming to conventions, especially this one, the Mid-State Regional Convention, is always one that I like to share with lots of people. It's not something that this isn't someplace you come to be alone, you know. So you gotta drop all that stuff as soon as you get in the car and start coming up here. And I came up here with 5 other women, and 2 of them have never been to a convention before, and 3 of them just went to their first one a month ago. So they're all hyped and jazzed and having a really good time, and you know, they've just registered and they're already into it. So you know, where it's at for me right now is I'm feeling real confused about how I should proceed. And it's something else that I've been told is, you know that you're spiritually fit when your own advice comes back to you within a 24-hour period of time. And it's I just got through leading a group prayer up in my room because everybody was bouncing off the walls and acting like they'd never been in a hotel before. And I said, okay, now everybody, now we're just going to gather around here and we're just going to draw on God's power, and we're going to get quiet and we're going to wait and listen for His message, you know. And we can either wait for it now or we'll get it later. And so God gave me mine now. And that was only 15 minutes ago. So I must be pretty spiritually fit. Anyway, must be an inside joke between me and God, too. Anyway, I'm really glad to see Noreen sharing, and I love you lots. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for letting me share.
Hi, I'm Yvonne. I'm an addict. Oh, I got butterflies. I've never spoke like this before in front of so many people. This is my second convention, and geez, I'm blank. This is my second convention, and I'm really, really grateful to be here. Since I've been in the program, I've been learning how to live. On the 16th of next month will be my 5 months of sobriety. So I'm fresh. Totally. And I'm really nervous, but I really enjoy coming to these conventions, and I will continue to do so. And I'm really grateful to be here. I guess that's all I have to share. Thank you. Do I get to bawl at somebody?
My name's Cheryl. I'm an addict. And I guess I was one of those girls that was dancing up the bars, acting like I'd never been in a jam before. I'm really excited. I've been clean and sober for 20 months, and I just got into the program like about 6 months ago and found out that, that there was another way of life for me, and that if I made room for God, that He would put people in my life that were going to help me on my journey. And coming to places like this, like I get real overwhelmed because I see all these people that have, 10 years and 10 minutes, and I mean, it's real exciting for me to see stuff happen and to be a part of it. And I'm real grateful for my sponsor today for including me in her life, and being a part of my life, and for the suggestions that she gives me, and to have a lot of really powerful women in my life today that are taking the same steps that I am, and we're all going on a journey. And I really feel my higher power working in my life today. And God, am I thanks, Yvonne. I just, I never thought that I would ever be in a position to have so much fun, and to not have my life be so screwed up, and to have real friendships and real people in my life. And, people that give me unconditional love. And, I feel it. Like, as soon as we walked in, I started seeing people from the program, and I started going, yeah, this is where it's at, And that just makes me real happy, and I'm thrilled to death to be a part of it, and I feel really privileged. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Francois, and I'm an addict. And it's really great to be real here. And I don't know what to say. It's like it's weird to be up on the stage, but this program's taught me a lot about living life. And I remember when I first got 12-stepped into this program, somebody told me how good it felt to be clean, and I never knew what that felt like. I figured now that was a drug I needed to try, being clean. And she said if I ever wanted to go to a meeting, to give her a call. And I had about a day and a half under my belt, and I knew I couldn't do it alone. And I didn't know how to find the meeting. They just said it was on a corner, and it was in the Haight-Ashbury. And that was where I hit my bottom. And it took me about half an hour to find the meeting, but I was getting really nervous, and I was about ready to start crying. And for the first time, I said, God, help me find this meeting. And as soon as I did that, I turned my head, and there was the meeting. And I went in that meeting and it was halfway over, but I sat down and I listened and I got myself a schedule. And I kept coming back and I kept listening and I started talking about what I was feeling. And everybody said it was okay to feel what you're feeling, that feelings are validated. And it showed me a new way of life. And it taught me how to face stuff and not run away like I used to do. And every time I faced something in my life and I walked through it, I learned from it. They say when you feel the pain, it's an opportunity for growth, and that's true. And I've chosen to learn that on a daily basis today. That every day is going to bring a new challenge and a new happiness in my life that I never knew existed, and it's because of people like there is in this room today that sit there and listen and really care and aren't concerned about what I have to offer them as far as what's in my pocket. It's about what I feel on the inside that they care about, and that they feel the same way I do, and it works because we work it together. Thanks.
Narcotics. I'm glad to be anywhere where a group of us addicts can gather together and feel life. And I've been doing that for a few days, 7,300 plus, but who's counting, huh? And for those of you trying to calculate that real fast, that's 20 years and 6 months and 10 days I've been here. Because of a loving God, our basic text, which we didn't have for a long time, the steps, working with others, remembering that my recovery is dependent upon me reaching out and taking account and accountability for my life and trying to be there for other people. And most of the time I pull that off pretty good. God's been real kind to me. I was getting ready to come down here, and I was at the office, and the chief security administrator had a little discussion about my record, and I haven't had an arrest since 1966, but he was real interested in that period of time before 1966, and he was amazed. He never even heard of Narcotics Anonymous except in passing, and I was able to share with him a little bit about what it's done in my life. And there's people in this room that have heard me before, and it's not done any more for me than it's done for anybody else. Everybody's had the miracle happen. And when I came to my first meeting in 1963, Jimmy Kay told me in Narcotics Anonymous, we love you, we need you, and we want you. And nobody ever told me that before. Nobody ever in my life had told that to me before I had heard it. And I didn't get clean then and stay clean then, but I remember that. And I hear that in every meeting, and I've heard it in this meeting already. Perhaps not in that exact phraseology, but that's saying the same thing nonetheless. And I'm glad to be here, and God bless you.
Hi, my name's Steve. I'm an alcoholics addict. I just started talking recently, about 3 weeks now, Sunday. But I think that's because I started talking at meetings, and it still makes me real nervous, but I realize I have to do that, or no one knows me, and it's real easy to slip right back out again. I'm from Reno. I've been in Reno 4 years now. I guess I did a geographical. But I lived here in Modesto 8 years, sort of doing nothing, working canneries and collecting unemployment and stuff. That was like from 80 to 87 or so. And your life just slips away when you smoke pot and drink beer, and years just go by. It's amazing. I was getting real sick down here. And my mom lived in Reno, and I was glad for the chance to go up there. She wanted me to do some work on her house, but what I did for the next year was procrastinated and stalled and drank her liquor, and she was enabling me, bringing 12 packs home and stuff, and I'd come down here because I had a weed connection here and I could get some coke and stuff like that. And then my dad died, and I really, I guess, went over the edge up there, became a danger to myself. I've been four-pointed, you know, with a motorcycle helmet on my head, so I couldn't hurt myself. You know, but I think it's going to work this time because I finally got a sponsor, and I'm going to be working the steps. I did step 1. You know, and things are looking better. I can look at a tree because it's beautiful, not to see which branch will hold my weight, you know. But I'm feeling better. And it really helps to have a sponsor because, like, you know, I can go to a meeting, but then after the meeting, you know, I can go over to his house and spend 4 hours that evening, you know, until I'm ready to go to sleep, you know, and then go back to a meeting the next day. So, thanks.
Thanks to readers and everyone for sharing, and for Steve. I'd like to thank Steve for sharing with us. And I'd like to ask everybody to please join me in a moment of silence, closing with a third step prayer. And for anybody who doesn't know what the third step prayer is, just read that banner. Are we going to hold hands? Are we supposed to hold hands? Okay.
Is a recording of the Friday kickoff Red Ball meeting with the speaker Steve J. of Modesto, recorded at the CMSRCNA2 in Modesto, California, on Friday, June 26, 1992. In observance with the 11th tradition stating anonymity at the public level, please keep this tape within the fellowship and observe the anonymity of all NA speakers.
Produce Steve J. from Modesto.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve, and I am a grateful member of Narcotics Anonymous. I got this big ball to hit that guy up there, and he dropped something else on me. That's why I told somebody in the back, man, find me the ball, man. I almost didn't get a chance to speak because I think they tried to